Group 1, green. Okay. Okay. So if you open the program, please. "15 minutes stops." Mr. Tude, thank you for moderating our panel. Thank you very much, sir. I'm here. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, please listen. Those on group 1, I think we are so many. So group 3 is scanty. We can actually join group 3 if you want to. Thank you. And group 4, thank you very much. So when you open to the second to the last page of our program, you will see the breakout section. Please check on your topics, topics you need to focus on. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. We can round up now. Thank you. Thank you. We can round up now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all groups. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. This ends the breakout section. Thank you. Thank you. So as it stands, we're going to be having a representative of each group to come summarize in a nutshell. Just 2 minutes each. 2 minutes. You need to come and tell us what you've discussed or what you've agreed on. Thank you very much. Can we have Group 1's representative? Group 1, color green. Please send someone forth. Please wrap it up. Wrap it off. Thank you. We can end it all now. Thank you very much. Group 1, can we have your representative? Group 2, get ready, purple. Group 3, blue, get ready with your representative. And Group 4, red, get ready, please. Group 1, can we have you now? Thank you. Group 1, please send your representative. We don't have much time. Green, can you send your representative, please? Green, please, your representative. You have 2 minutes to tell us your agreement, discussion, and all that. Thank you. Group 1, thank you. Okay, Group Green representative. Group 1, Group 1. If Group 1 is not ready, can we have Group 2? Group 2, please. Thank you. Blue and purple. Thank you. Okay, Group 1 is ready. Group 1 is ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me stand on already established protocol. In terms of our own, is to talk about the policy regulations and already. So we have looked at the issue of regulations and policy development for the sector. The objective is to see that we can start from existing abandoned filling stations to start with. So when we are thinking that they will categorize those stations into 3 levels: the medium, and the large stations. So that we can, from there, we can say, okay, let us start from these stations and develop a policy around it. What are we going to do? What I'm going to do is that, okay, we will look at those stations and said, okay, for some stations, those mega ones can have holistics in terms of product selling, and they can be at the center of the state. And we also can make use of some develop policy around stations that have been abandoned over time that government can partner with the owner to start up first. Then also, we also look at policy around setbacks, drainage setback that can accommodate stations that place where you can charge. We will have a big setback around drainage setback. We can create a corridor around that area, and we can discuss with the managers of those facilities, which is drainage department and all that. So policy development around that can also come up for us to start with. So also we can also look, we also talks about the challenges in the sector. We look at it that, well, some people raise issue of pricing, but we told them that that's not part of our thing. But what we said was that, okay, each of the pricing is determined by two components, which is price of gas. And but since our own does not talks about that, so we didn't take it that way. In as part of we said, well, whatever they will do will be determined by those in the sector. We also talk about standards. We look at standards and say, okay, we will set the commissions and Lagos Environmental Protection Agency will come together and look at what they are doing in the sector and generate standard for that for the sector. Then the last one, which I would like to stop, is that we look at I was saying that the abandoned stations. We knew that there are some policies that government has set up in terms of abandoned facility across the state, that nobody can just leave a facility. So the state will look at what to do with physical planning and the owners of those facilities and develop something around the sector by engaging them and bringing them to board that this is the plan of government. Can we do this with you? And so that they can now come up with some documentation. I think let me stop there for now.
Thank you.
Am I okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Group 1. Group 2. Purple.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oladeyinde Yusuf. I'm presenting for Group 2. And for us, it's to find out the top 3 challenges, bedeviling, the rollout of CNG or electric vehicles, siting of this infrastructure, and the electric power challenges that we have. So the top 3 challenges we identified is grid reliability and availability. We could say that there's grid, right? Based on location, obviously, you have band A, you have band B, you have band C. But then the reliability of that electricity itself, for when you have it, when it is available, is also another major factor. Number 2 is location. A speaker had earlier said that EV, especially EV infrastructure, is concentrated in specific areas in Lagos. You're talking Ikeja, probably Ajah, Victoria Island, and the likes. That underserves other areas of Lagos State itself. So talking about Ojo, the Mautus, and all of them. So that is another challenge that we've identified. And then lastly is financing. I mean, ideas are good, but if you don't have the money or the capability to finance them, they are dead on arrival. So what solutions have we identified to each of these problems? Number 1, for grid reliability and availability, is to have energy mixes. It is not news to any of us here that Nigeria's grid is not reliable at all. So what you can do, or a way to go around that, is to have energy mixes. What do we mean by energy mix? You can layer the electricity infrastructure that you provide for your chargers, right, in 3 different ways. Grid is the cheapest, right? But then it is not reliable, obviously. But it is also good for the machinery you are bringing in. On the second side of things is to go for the next cheaper alternative, which is solar plus BESS. BESS is battery energy storage systems. So what that does for you is to have an ability to store energy during the day, right, which you can then use for your charging, and it is also definitely clean. Then the third one is to now use probably CNG fire generators. Now, CNG is not regarded as clean, but is also regarded as a transitional fuel. So you can use that to layer all your energy mix, right, to be able to power this EV infrastructure for the citizenry or the populace. Now, in terms of location, I had earlier mentioned that charging infrastructure are concentrated in a few areas in Lagos. So what you can do then is to lay your charging infrastructure across different nodes within Lagos, and also to do it in such a way that you don't have to invest so much on power, right? And probably even parking. So what you can do is to form partnerships with different players across the state. So I'm talking hotels, supermarkets, event centers. So for example, ICM, you can put a charger or more there, Novari, Lekki, and all of those areas. So you can put those there. Then lastly, financing. So we had a few of them around here today. The BOIs, the Development Bank of Nigeria, and all of these different players. So the most important thing to them is to show that the project you're trying to bring forward is bankable, right? And also that can be further enhanced through public-private partnerships with the government to grant probably tax holidays or to grant incentives to make green financing more attractive to investors, and then you can have more players there. The more players you have, the more your ability to be able to deploy to everyone. So
thank you. Thank you. So quickly, group 3, color blue. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Engineer David Awuderu. I'll be representing Group 3. So in Group 3, we talked about the bankability of the project. So we discussed how would the banks actually grant loans or requirements for the project. Do they have the required land space? Have they met all the necessary laws? Have they met all the necessary regulations? What are the regulations they need to meet before the bank can give them? What are the requirements banks are going to need before they give them? So we talk about public-private partnership for bankability. Are they partnering with a private firm before they get the loans to develop their CNG or EV stations? We also talked about funding models, like the speaker talked about from DMO, talk about 250 million grant from Sterling Bank, which you can go and collect. So how can investors be in this role? We also talk about the pilot structure for the financing of this project. What are the structures for, you want to start this project, what are the things that needs to be done? First, feasibility study. Feasibility study is very, very essential for a project of this size can be done, especially if you want to do the hubbing model, you want to do like large modules for DC fast charging hubs. Then, most importantly, we talk about the AIA and the environmental impact assessment. What is going to happen before you get the project? What's going to happen to the batteries at the end of life cycle of those batteries? Are they going to be stored somewhere? Are they going to be dumped into the sea? Or do the companies have where they're going to recycle all the waste? Because this is very important, because we don't just want to develop a lot of EV systems in Nigeria and later there are a lot of wastes. So we also talked about the market adoption. So how are we going to adopt EV and CNG in Lagos State? Is it the two-wheelers that are going to start first, or the three-wheelers, mean your tricycle or your motorcycles? What incentives will Lagos State do? Like one of the speakers talked about, will they give loans to, let's say, the lowest of the lowest, maybe a level 1 or level 2? Can he afford to get an EV vehicle? Will they give him loans that he will pay over time so that everybody can adopt? Because if the EV systems and the CNG is only for the rich, large proportion of population of Lagosians will not use this system. So there needs to be a kind of system in place that will let the market adoption for EV go in Lagos State. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now have Group 4, Red. Please, a round of applause. It's like Group 4 is actually represented by a woman. Yes. A round of applause one more time.
I cannot hear the clap. Oh, should I go back? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Flora Boheman. and I'll be representing Group 4. Group 4? Okay, so Group 4 is categorized by people who love teamwork. And we've looked at all the issues on ground, and majorly, I'll be brief, you guys already know the full story. So we identified several challenges, and we figured that the major issues for fleet training basically is access to funding, access to good partnerships, and sensitization, basically. The more people know, the more they can do. Do you understand? So sensitization removes fear from the hearts of the people. They understand that these fuels are good and, clean to use and are safe as well. Then partnership will help us with creating more service stations that can handle maintenance, because we have figured that maintenance is a serious problem. We heard some of the speakers say things about training, but, well, how many? 300 million in the country. We need more people to be trained. And even the cost of training is very expensive. So these collaborations will help with certain kinds of initiatives, both from the public and private sectors, to bring down the cost of training, to partner with schools, because when you start with schools, it becomes case studies and small projects that can become greater things tomorrow. The students will learn, it will be cheaper to infuse it through schools, and that way, more news spreads about how these things work. And we also spoke about asset sensitization. Aside from the people investing, the owners of the investments also need to know how the assets work, because you can invest so much, and we've understood from discussions that it's even very expensive to invest in this space. For instance, we were speaking to numbers, Group 4, we were speaking to how many billions on, it was a lot. So for someone to invest so much, they also need to know how to use this equipment, and what are the things that we can do in the immediate. They spoke about policies, they spoke about frameworks. Can we see these policies begin to be doled out so that people who need to do things will begin to do them? Okay? And then for the, so adoption, sensitization, adverts, publicity by all the stakeholders so that everyone can know that these things are possible. Partnerships also with OEMs, it's a lot of my paper, but I guess you get the idea. So for partners, we've identified people like PICNG. We want more people to be involved so that, the trainings and all the rest can come through to as many people who are available to be trained and useful for the resource and the spread of the news of CNG and the EVs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With all said and done, please, Group 1, a round of applause for yourselves. Group 2, a round of applause. Group 3, and Group 4. That is why we are in for this type of events. They said his network is still fluctuating, but his network will come back. Maybe by then we'll be at home sleeping. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I really want to say it's a happy day seeing everyone here. And for those of you who still stayed till this time, please, a round of applause for yourselves. I appreciate yourselves. I also want to remind you So I also want to remind you that this event was powered by Lagos State Government, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resource. The stakeholders' engagement on Lagos State, you're not clapping, on Lagos State alternative fuel for vehicles, policy, and development. And also a round of applause because they went into collaboration with the Tree of Life Auto World Limited. Please, a round of applause, a round of applause. Now, I want to say a big thank you to His Excellency. Though he wasn't here, he actually sent his representative, and also to Honorable Commissioner. You saw that he came in at first and disappeared and came back again. And also to all the MDs, HRs, to all the CEOs, want to say thank you very much. My name is MC Sweetheart. Please do well to follow me. Okay, I know, yes, I know what the name has cost. So my name is MC Sweetheart. Do well to follow me on all social media platforms. I anchor all kinds of events. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into the launch of the day, permit me now to call in for the closing remark. Please, a round of applause for Engineer A.B. Aderite, Director, Oil and Gas, Lagos State Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resource. Please, a round of applause one more time. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much for staying to this time. I'll be taking the closing remarks on behalf of my permanent secretary, Engineer Abdul Hafiz Toriola, distinguished stakeholders, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. So it is with a strong sense of purpose and fulfillment that I deliver these closing remarks at the end of this highly productive second strategic stakeholders engagement on alternative fuel for vehicles and supporting infrastructure in Lagos State. You will agree with me, today's engagement has clearly demonstrated one thing, and which is Lagos is ready to move from policy conversations to coordinated implementation. Just like one of the panelists said, we are moving from coordination to execution and capacity. So building on the solid foundation established at the first engagement we had on the 6th of February, 2026, our deliberations today have covered key areas, namely the policy clarity, institutional alignment, infrastructure deployment, financing models, and capacity development. More importantly, we have collectively reinforced the central pillars of this transition, which are safety, sustainability, scalability, and inclusiveness. So these insights shared across the sessions have provided practical decisions for execution. The emphasis on bankable models, structured rollout, and interagency coordination reflects a shared understanding that success will depend on how effectively we translate strategy into action. So therefore, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources affirm our commitment to providing a clear, stable, and enabling policy environment, driving interministerial coordination and regulatory coherence, facilitating private sector participation and investment, and ensuring that infrastructure development aligns with urban planning and energy realities. So we also recognize that adoption will be driven by public confidence, which makes safety standards, awareness, and affordability non-negotiable. So in the immediate term, the ministry will consolidate on all outcomes from this engagement into the AFV policy framework and implementation roadmap with defined timelines and responsibilities. So distinguished participants, this opportunity before us is very significant, and so is the responsibility. And so this, therefore, is in no way the end of a process, but the beginning of a more deliberate phase of execution. On this note, and on behalf of the ministry, the Honorable Commissioner, and the State Governor, I thank you all for your commitment, your expertise, and your partnership. And we look forward to a continued collaboration as we work together to deliver a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable transport energy future for Lagos State. Thank you, and safe travels. And with our usual pattern, said, Igbega, Ipile Eko, Ajumosheni. So we need more collaborations. Thank you once again. So without wasting much time, I'll call on Engineer Adini Oshoba to take the vote of thanks.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you so much for staying with us up till this moment. It has been a wonderful time together. And on that note, and on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, and my wonderful colleagues, I want to say and extend our sincere appreciation to all our stakeholders, both public and private sector leaders, development partners, financial institutions, and technical experts, whose presence and contributions have made today's engagement both insightful and outcome-driven. Your inputs here today have significantly strengthened the direction of Lagos State AFB policy and its transition roadmap. Special thanks also go to our technical consultants, Tree of Life Auto World Limited, our facilitators, the panelists, and organizing teams, whose dedication ensured the seamless delivery of today's program. Distinguished participants, as we conclude, it is important to emphasize that today marks a transition from dialogue to action. The real work begins now with sustained collaboration, continuous engagement, and committed execution. We are confident that together we will build a safe, sustainable, and investment-ready alternative fuel ecosystem for Lagos State's transport sector. Thank you once again for your participation, and we wish you safe journeys and look forward to our continued partnership. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.